Hello everyone and welcome back to my Bold and Beautiful 29 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Ridge said he couldn't marry Taylor, so heartbreak hit hard. At Forrester Creations, Brooke conceded that Thomas had problems in the history, including bones. That affected her son. Thomas was Ridge's son, so Brooke told Katie that she wanted him to be happy. Katie bothered about Thomas manipulating the situation and pushing Ridge to marry Taylor, so she was sure Brooke didn't want that. Once the discussion shifted to what happened in Italy, Brooke tried to have faith that Ridge would keep his pledge and make effects right. Eric reunited with Thomas, so they addressed the content of Ridge and Taylor's engagement. Thomas reflected on his own split from Paris and stressed the significance of his parents' reunion. After Thomas talked about the stability Ridge had set up with Taylor, he dragooned Eric to support their marriage right along with him. Eric didn't look ready to abandon Team Brooke anytime soon. Thomas ultimately intruded Brooke and Katie's discussion in the design office, where he offered updates on Taylor and Ridge setting their marriage date tonight. As Thomas turned bogarting on Friday's B&B occasion, he advised Brooke not to do anything to come between Ridge and Taylor ever again. At one of the Forrester Guesthouses, Taylor worked the family angle with Ridge and reminded him of Stephanie once support, too. Taylor mentioned her broken heart pattern bringing her back home, but she gushed over Ridge healing her. Since Taylor saw no reason to stay on tying the knot, she was ready to get married as soon as hereafter. Taylor participated a slow cotillion with Ridge, who looked more torn than ever as he recalled saving Brooke in Italy. Between that and being in Taylor's arms now, it was each too important. Ridge eventually pulled down and admitted that he abominated the study of breaking Taylor's heart again. Ridge indeed broke at moments latterly when he said he couldn't pick a date and couldn't marry Taylor. Taylor has further drama ahead thanks to Ridge's terrible news. Thomas has made his grand return just as his parents are planning their forthcoming marriage. While Thomas is rapturous about his parents' reunion, he knows a certain someone could destroy their happiness. Thomas's return is centered around Taylor's and Ridge's reunion. Like his family Steffi, he's thrilled about his parents' marriage. Thomas has been going through a rough time with work and his broken engagement to Paris. Seeing his parents together again brings him joy, which is commodity he needs now. Brooke might ruin Thomas and Ridge's happiness. Brooke has a history of snooping in Ridge's relationship, and Ridge hasn't made effects easy with his constant waffling. The recent trip to Italy has opened Ridge's eyes and made him realize Brooke is the one for him. Although he wants to be with Brooke, he also doesn't want to hurt Taylor. Since Ridge wouldn't do anything about the Taylor and Brooke situation, Thomas will take it upon himself. Thomas warns Brooke not to come between his parents, yet his warning will fall on deaf cognizance. Brooke isn't going to let anything or anyone keep her from her fortune. Brooke posing a trouble to his parents' relationship, Thomas might take a drastic approach. Thomas seems to be showcasing signs of his old tone. With his dark side re-emerging, Brooke might be in peril. To get Brooke out of the picture, Thomas could abduct her or indeed worse. Thomas is back in Los Angeles. Still, he has lost Paris and doesn't feel to have important of a career designing presently. Now the man is fixated on his parents' marriage. Still, there are signs that the youthful man's minatory side could resurface. Keep reading and let's talk about what could be next in this plot. Thomas coming back to city. The man came back alone and said Douglas Forrester was busy with Academy and Musketeers. In fact, the boy was staying with Musketeers while Thomas was home. The man also said that he was back for Ridge and Taylor marriage. Also, he added to Ridge that he was back to make sure that Brooke doesn't get her nails into Ridge's heart again. Also, we've Taylor, who's oh so agitated that her son is back in city. Still, it seems she has been complaining to Thomas about Brooke. Now it seems to be all Thomas is fastening on. The man indeed brazened Brooke and advised her not to intrude in Ridge and Taylor's relationship. Also, he informed Taylor that he told Ridge to act like a man. While talking to Lee, Taylor mentioned that if her son backslides, she's right there. It seems like Taylor could be setting Thomas's troubled future in stir. Thomas doesn't have anything to concentrate on. His son is busy and his designs aren't attached to any one developer. So, it sounds like Thomas's fashion developer career in Paris isn't going as well as he hoped. Thomas has also lost Paris. It seems that Grace's crime has now affected Thomas and Paris' engagement. I can see Paris wanting to support her mama, but she surely can't blink this crime. Thomas just thinks that Paris is gone. Is it possible that Paris could have been abducted? After Grace turned herself in, the bank probably reversed that transfer. That means the goons will be looking for another $1 million. It sounds like Thomas has nothing good to concentrate on in his life. So, he's obsessing over Ridge and Taylor's marriage. Still, I do worry about how far he'll go. Ivy Forrester might eventually find love again, but it'll be in an unanticipated place. Ivy Forrester paid Liam a visit at the Spencer mansion to compliment him on beating cancer and also professed her love for him. Liam and Ivy did spend one regale together this time, but their brooded reunion sizzled out before it started. In true Liam fashion, he shut Ivy down and blazoned he was in love with Hope again. Ouch. Still, it's Carter. If there's anyone differently who understands what it's like to have your heart steamrolled by a Hop reunion. Liam and Hope get back together, also Carter is going to be left out in the cold wave. Luckily, he'll presumably stumble across Ivy licking her injuries and also the two can commiserate. Carter and Ivy actually have an occasion to bond at Forrester Creations, and soon they will both be as single as a bone. Bill. Ivy and Carter feel to keep getting set up for heartache. In fact, both characters could use a shoulder to cry on, so it's not absurd that they end up leaning on each other. Carter would clearly be unanticipated, since he's engaged to another woman right now. But, the chances of Carter and Hope actually making it to the balcony aren't great. Elektra and Luna might both find themselves awaiting. Is it possible that Will has a double baby surprise awaiting him in the future? Given Luna's patient smiles and the reflections she's been throwing around, she seems to suppose that she's going to have Will's baby. It's clear that Luna is induced a Spencer baby could deliver her from going back to captivity, although in reality, the court may take her child. Of course, this might also be Luna's tactic to capture Will's affection or guilt-trip him into marriage. She likely dreams of casting a family with Will beside her, but what happens if Elektra ends up awaiting as well? Indeed, with Elektra sweats to take preventives and do effects duly, it's common knowledge that birth control can occasionally fail, especially in a cleaner pieces. Elektra's original experience with Will might affect in an unanticipated gestation, fully altering her life. At this point in his life, Shirley had no plans to come a pater. Yet he could soon discover that he's going to be one. Just picture it, what if Will discovers that he's actually awaiting halves, well, half-halves at least? That script seems presumptive if Elektra finds out she's awaiting at the same time as Luna. They could each be hit with a double baby surprise that none of them anticipated, leaving Will to navigate this shocking disclosure alongside Luna and Elektra. This could open the door to a myriad of dramatic twists on B&B. Jealous Luna might come intent on orchestrating a little accident to ensure Elektra's baby is removed from the picture. Luna could also be conniving to exclude Elektra, putting both Elektra and her implicit future child in serious jeopardy. Of course, we must also entertain the idea that Luna might not actually be pregnant by Will after all, or indeed fake the gestation. She could fluently trick Will into believing she's carrying his child if she ends up in bed with Remy and conceives with him rather. Anyhow, the script, Will is likely to admit news about some unanticipated gravidity in the near future. Could Elektra also drop a shocking disclosure of her own, leaving Will hugely stupefied?